Okay, well this one is for Cameron and Luke, and it's the guitar parts for Eye of the Tiger. So start off, the bit that runs all the way through the song is the muted pattern played on the 3rd fret of the A string, so it's a C. So you're muting with your palm here, resting it on the string. I think at the beginning it's just a continuous up and down. Obviously if you can hear any other notes playing, that's because I'm playing it badly. But I think actually during the verses it's kind of, it goes bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba 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 ba, like that. And that runs through most of the song. There's a few little bits where it disappears, but it's mainly on the song the whole time. Now, the main riff, I have been teaching you guys it like this, which is just a C, well, an A minor bar chord on the 3rd fret, so a C minor chord, and then just taking this bit off. But I think, having watched quite a few videos on how to play this, I'm going to change my mind, and I'm going to say it should really just be a bar chord. A power chord, so that's 3rd fret of the A string, which is a C, 5th fret of the D string, which is a G, and 5th fret of the G string, sorry, 5th fret of the D string, which is a G, and 5th fret of the G string, which is a C. So you're just playing C, G, and C, and doing it like that rather than barring across like that, so with 2 fingers. So this finger is not doing anything. And just playing those 3 notes, and then moving the whole chord pattern down 2 frets, so C, C, B flat, C, like that. And then when you come to this chord change, we've been playing it like a G to a G sharp. But again, after doing a little bit of studying, it appears to be played like this, which is that you play the bottom G with the 3rd fret of the 1st finger, and you play the 6th fret of the A string. So effectively, you're moving this finger up to make the G sharp bar chord, but when you're on the G with your 1st finger, you're still on the 6th fret with your pinky. So it goes like that. So that finger stays where it is on the 6th fret, and this one comes up to make it, that's a power chord. Goodness knows what that chord is. So the whole thing is played. So C, 3rd fret, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, and then this 3rd fret on the E string, 6th fret on the A string, and then moving your 1st finger up to the 4th fret of the bottom string, the E string, to make that a power chord. So I'll play that along. Well, I'll start off with the introduction, which is the muted guitar. And I've got that playing with a bit of echo, but it's basically just the muted guitar pattern. Now the next one's slightly syncopated, so it's not quite the same rhythm. Pause here. Okay, and then that is repeated, but with the 2nd guitar coming in playing a high guitar part. Now, it kind of cuts right through. It's very audible on the track, so there's, I think they're using, when they're playing it, they're using all 3 strings. Because it does cut through. I've seen a video where they're going these 2. But I'm going to do it with all 3. So, I'm going to use my pinky, 8th fret, bar across those 3 strings. And then you're using your 1st finger to make a mini bar across the 6th fret of the E string and the B string, and then your 2nd finger is on the 7th fret of the G string. So you're effectively playing the bottom 3 notes of this bar chord, B flat bar chord, like that. And then I use my pinky because it gives me the maximum amount of hand to vibrate with, if you see what I mean. So, because there's a definite vibration on it, you can hear it on the record, so it's going. So, all the way across on the 8th fret, mini bar, all 3 strings, and then 1st fret, 6th fret of the 1st and 2nd strings, and 7th fret of the G string. Holding it when you play that riff, very staccato, so it stops. Whereas for this one, it's held. So I'm going to suggest that when whoever's playing the lower part here, you're going to hold it a bit longer when you play this bit along with this part. So you're going to go, because it's being held along with this one. And then this transition, which on down here is I'm playing as a little mini D chord on the 7th fret, which I'm then going to slide up to the 8th fret. So it's going to go, so that's 3, same as the other bit of the riff, 8th fret, but this time a D chord on the 7th fret of the G string and the E string and the 8th fret of the B string. I think you only really need to play the bottom 2 strings, so the G and the B string. Like that. Okay, so it's, remember, you want to get vibrato off that if you can. Like that, okay. And then the last time it plays, it just goes. Up here it's both of them have that kind of where you're just kind of resting your fingers and you get that kind of scratch sound before you play the note. So now there isn't actually any guitar in the verse, the bit where we're going. There is no guitar part, that's just piano part. So the next bit is the chords for the Eye of the Tiger part. Now, I've watched quite a few videos, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and amalgamate them into 2 separate parts. So one part is going to be an F bar chord, power chord down here on the 1st fret, so that's 1st fret of the E string, 3rd fret of the A string, and 3rd fret of the D string. And then up to the 6th fret, sorry, there's an A bar chord, so that's the chord that's based on the A chord up here, and then an E bar chord on the same fret, the 6th fret, so that's an E flat, so 6th fret of the A string, and then your pinky or whichever finger you prefer. I always prefer to use my pinky for these little mini bars, across the 8th fret of the D, the G and the B, like that. So you're going to go. Now that's technically a minor chord, but I think they're playing it as power chord, so you can't hear the minor in there. So you're just doing the bottom 3 strings. In fact, if you just want to do that as a power chord, that probably is more. Actually, that's probably a better way to do it, because the lower rhythm part is all power chords. So, and then back down to the 1st fret. And then we're going to do 3rd fret. Well, either 3rd fret of the A string, down to the 1st fret of the A string is a power chord, or up to the 8th fret, down to the 6th fret if you do it on the bottom string. Starts 1st one, 8, 6. Or you can play it 3rd fret of the A string, 1st fret of the A string. It's the same chords, just a different position. So that sequence I'll play along with the well, actually, first of all, I'll play the sequence with the higher part in the opening riffs, this bit here, along with the backing track. There you've got the verse chords, which are C, A flat and B flat. But when the guitar comes back in, I'll do the lower part first. that last bit is 8th fret of the A string, down to the 6, 8, 6, 8, and then 10, 8, 10, and then 11. And then it goes back into the... Okay, now the other part, which is a higher part, I'm playing up here on the 8th fret on the A string. So again, it's an F chord, just a higher F chord, as a power chord. Now, what this is a 4-string version of a bar chord. So you've got your first finger across the 6th fret of the E and the B strings. You've got your second finger on the 8th fret, 7th fret of the G string, and you've got your third finger on the 8th fret of the D string. But what you're doing is you're putting your pinky on the 8th fret of the G string and taking it off where your finger's on the 7th fret. So it's those two notes, 8 and 8, and then 8 and 7, but as part of that chord. So that's for that bit where it goes. And then you're back to the 8th fret for the next bit. There's a power chord, so just the 3 strings, 8th fret of the A string, 10th fret of the D string and G string, down to the 8th fret on the bottom string, with the 10th fret on the A string and the D string, so, and then the power chord down the 6th fret of the bottom string. So 8th fret of the A string, 8th fret of the E string, and then 6th fret of the E string. And then you repeat the one that you played the first one, so 8th fret of the A string, and then that mini part of the bar chord with your pinky on the 8th fret of the G string, and then pinky off so that you're then playing the 7th fret of the G string with your other finger. And then this one finishes off with, which is like a harmony part for the other part, so that's 6 on the D string, 5, 6, 6, 5, 6 on the D string, 8, 6, 8, and then 10, 8, 10. So it's not 10, 8, 10, it's just one note, isn't it? So 6, 5, 6, 8, 6, 8, 10, and then back in. So I'll do that part along with the backing track. Now, the next part is the 2 lead harmonies in the second verse, which I shall show you. So the first one is played on the 8th fret of the G string, and you hold it for the whole part of that first chord. So the other ones, the next notes don't have to last long. This one has to last for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, that's the 8th string, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, then down to the 7th fret of the G string, and then so that's a hammer on and a pull off, because it's quite quick. And the other harmony part is up on the 8th fret of the B string, which again you have to hold for 8 beats. A bit of vibrato would keep it going. 6, 6, 8, 6, 4. But again, it's a hammer on. See, that one's a bit harder because you've got to get down 2 frets. So what I do is I play it like that. First finger, 3rd finger, pull off, and then just slide that first finger down to the 4th fret. Whereas that one is... You could do it like that. As well, you could slide that one down. Play it like that. So I'll let you hear what that sounds like with the backing track, which I've got them both playing here. So what I'll do is I'll mute to one of them so you can hear each one individually. So this first one is on G string, on the 8th fret of the G string. Holding it for 8, 7, hammer on, pull off. Do it again. 8, 7, 7, 8, 7, 5. So that's the G string harmony, and then the next one is the B string harmony. So I shall mute the other part so you can hear this one. So this is on the 8th fret of the B string. Going down to the 6th fret of the B string. Down the 4th fret. Sorry, 8, my bad. And then 6. 6, 8, 6, 4. And that's pretty much the song, because everything else that you play in the song has already been covered in the other verses. The actual riff only plays at the beginning and the very end, and it works exactly the same way both times. It starts off with one guitar, that guitar, and then comes in with that guitar. So that guitar does it twice, and then this one does it twice. And then the very end of the song is it just stops on a C, if I remember correctly. Let's have a look at it. We'll do this riff here. And that's it. You finish on that one, and the other guitar finishes up there. After doing it. I just slide it down, makes it sound a bit more effective right at the end. And that's the entire song for Eye of the Tiger.